Oh boy, got another Bible contradiction from an atheist. They say that the Bible contradicts itself about when Jesus was beaten, before or after Pilate gave the order to crucify him. Let's read the verses. That's always our best first step. They say in John chapter 19 and verse 2, that says that it was before, which is accurate. The soldiers twisted a crown of thorns. This is John 19:2, and you can read all the way to verse 16. I'll get the relevant verses. And they put it on its head. They put on him a purple robe. Then they said, "Hail, King of the Jews!" And they struck him with their hands. Pilate went out again and said to him, "Behold, I am bringing him out to you, that you may know that I find no fault in him." So Pilate hadn't given the order to crucify him. We see again in verse 6, he hadn't yet given the order. He says, "You do it. I find no fault in this man." Whereas if, on the other hand, we note in verse 16, he delivered them to be crucified, Jesus had been beaten at this point. Whereas in Matthew chapter 27 and verse 26, it says, "Then he released," that is Pilate, "Barabbas to them, and when he had scourged Jesus, he delivered him to be crucified." So he scourges him, and then he delivers him to be crucified. Nothing in conflict yet. Then Mark chapter 15 and verse 15 says, "So Pilate, wanting to gratify the crowd, released Barabbas to them. Then he delivered Jesus, after he had scourged him, to be crucified." Okay, and then that's supposed to somehow impress us about whether or not Pilate ordered Jesus to be crucified after the beating, before the beating, which is being presented. And this is where it ultimately comes down to. When you hear someone say that the Bible contradicts itself, it is something that should be taken seriously, because we don't want our main source of information, a revelation from God, to be in conflict with itself. That's what a contradiction is, that it violates the second formal law of logic, that A does not equal non-A. It's claiming two opposite things are both true and at the same time canceling each other out. That would not be good if, of course, that were true. But it seems like with the atheist, when they present these things to Christians, they don't bother to read them for themselves and either misrepresent one or both or all of the passages that they claim are in conflict. We see the timeline. Pilate orders Jesus to be scourged. He delivers him to be crucified in all of the passages. And even if you're noting that when he was brought before the Sanhedrin and they beat him beforehand, which you never mentioned, it is possible for you to be beaten more than once. Just saying. But even in the presentation of the verses they gave, this should be a great comfort to Christians listening to this video, because, once again, violating the second formal law of logic only works if you properly represent A and non-A. We don't see a non-A in this. Jesus is beaten, then delivered to be crucified by Pilate. So if you want to, again, have confidence whenever a contradiction is leveled your way, the first and most important thing to do is to read it and then just ask them to defend their claim. And the claim, of course, that it is contradictory is oftentimes too much effort even on their part to understand. They can say something contradicts itself, but it seems that the atheist who brought this up doesn't even know what that word means.